Hi everyone, my name is Fiona and today I am joined by Viviane Mehr of Viviane Art. Viviane, tell us about Viviane Art, the gallery, where it is and what it's all about.
Thank you, Fiona. Viviane Art is a commercial gallery space in Englewood, Calgary. I'm 8 this fall. I can't believe I've been doing this for 8 years, but it is my passion project. I absolutely love it. I represent 20 artists, primarily Canadian and emerging and mid-career, with the exception of a few. William Kentridge, the work we're surrounded by, being one of those artists that is both international, not Canadian, and very well established. But mostly I build careers, and that's really for me what Viviane Art is about.
And Viviane, I've known you for a long time. You've always loved art, but taking the plunge and opening a gallery is kind of a big deal. What made you decide to go this route with your love of art?
Well, after I moved from Vancouver in 2005, which is when we saw the most of each other, I went back to school and I did a Bachelor of Fine Art degree at what is now called Alberta University of the Arts, was then ACAD. And I had a studio practice for 3 years, making my own art practice, but I found it really isolating. I still had 3 kids at home and a husband at that time who traveled a lot, and I found sitting in the studio was not really giving me what I needed. So I started working in other commercial spaces, interning and just trying it out, and I found I had a real intuitive sense for the relationship building that goes with running a gallery, for sales, for the writing, for all of the different skill sets that come to it. So I took the plunge, and in 2013, I shut down my studio practice and opened my gallery.
And how do you decide on the artists? You mentioned predominantly emerging artists and building careers. How do you find and select the artists that you collaborate with at Viviane Art?
Well, I think there's a reason that galleries tend to be called the name of the dealer or the name of the gallerist, aside from their massive egos, of course. Because really when you buy from a gallery, you're buying the brand, the eye, the taste of the person whose gallery you walk into. So I am choosing always artists that I would want to hang on my walls, either because I have such engagement with their process or their content or their narrative. And also, I usually just really like them as people. And I find them at art fairs, I find them in other cities. It's important to me to not be regional. So I've got artists in Toronto, Peterborough, Quebec, Saskatoon, all over Canada.
And what is your message to young artists out there who aspire to be hung in a gallery like yours? What are the steps that they should take to get themselves into a place where someone like you has eyes on them to start selling their work?
Well, we could be here a while. I actually work with the RBC Emerging Artists program in Calgary. That's a national program though, but most major cities have one. And I do portfolio reviews and presentations twice a year to their group. So I tell them 2 things. First of all, it's a 2-way relationship. So if they think they're just gonna cold call and send off a bunch of emails to multiple galleries and get noticed, it's quite unlikely. So it's really important for young or just starting out artists at whatever age to visit galleries. If ultimately your goal is to show in a commercial gallery, you best start making relationships there as a patron and observer, as opposed to someone peddling your work. So start with the relationship. I also tell them to do their research and to look for galleries that actually fit their work. Because, like I mentioned, gallerists tend to present their taste, what they're drawn to, what they appreciate, whether it's challenging work or critical work or landscape or whatever it is. So they need to really consider their fit and not just send out blanket emails again. Target a gallery that you think your work fits in and that you like. Because if you don't like the people, why would you want to work there?
Exactly.
You know, so, and also consider alternatives, because commercial gallery spaces are only one. And as our world becomes more and more digital and online content becomes more and more a thing, there are opportunities, I think, to self-promote. And presenting your work through a commercial gallery is only one avenue.
And let's do the same question on the flip side for people who might want to come to galleries but have that intimidation factor about art. They don't think they have the right to have an opinion or walk in the door or look at it. What is your advice to people who do have that intimidation factor, and how to break it down so they're comfortable walking into a gallery and just enjoying it all?
First of all, I want to acknowledge that that's not their fault. That's a part of our history as commercial art galleries. A very unfortunate part of our history is that there is an elitist attitude about art, purchasing art, and collecting art. And even I, today, can walk into certain galleries and get snubbed. So I appreciate that hesitation. I strive to be a welcoming space, an accepting space. I think it's worth taking the plunge and trying some galleries out and finding the ones you're comfortable in, and then become patrons. And you don't have to buy to be a patron. You just need to support their programming, come in regularly, say hello, and engage in conversations about the work. The existence of social media, Instagram, great websites, all of that is helpful too, because I think people who are hesitant to walk in cold can do tons of research ahead of time to even figure out where they want to take the chance.
Yeah. And let's talk about your programming. What is coming up at Viviane Art in the next little while?
Our next exhibition, right now we are showing an artist named Winnie Trong, who is Vietnamese Canadian, born and raised in Scarborough, Ontario, and living and working in Toronto. Her work is up into October and will be followed by William Kentridge. And his master printmaker, Jillian Ross, will be working with us for that presentation. And then after that, I have an annual tradition. I do an exhibition every single year called Handpicked, which is brand new grads, people who are fresh off the street, off the school, off whatever, that have not had commercial presentations before. I usually handpick 3 or 4 and do that exhibition every year. So it'll be my 8th running of Handpicked.
Well, congratulations on all your success, Viviane, and be sure to check out Viviane Art if you are in Calgary, but of course you can check them out online as well, and Viviane has a lot of great content on her website for you. Thank you again.
Thank you.